Good morning. It's Friday and welcome to the Compass Daily. So glad you've joined us this morning. We've got a great time of worship planned for you and a powerful message. And before we get into that, I just want to thank you for your generosity. Your generosity is making a huge difference here at our church, here at Compass. One of the things I get to be a part of is our men's ministry. And your generosity helps make things happen. Like on October 24th, we have our first live and in-person men's breakfast since March. And we're so excited to welcome Brad Long, who was in the movie Hoosiers. He's going to bring a testimony and great stories from the movie. So thanks for your generosity. It is making a difference in helping us put on programming like that. Well, let's now get into our time of worship.
In the crushing, in the pressing, you are making new wine. In the soil I now surrender, you are breaking new ground. So I yield to you and to your careful hand. When I trust you, I don't need to understand. So make me your vessel, make me an offering, make me whatever you want me to be. I came here with nothing, but all you have given me. Jesus, bring new wine out of me. In the crushing, in the pressing, you are making new wine. In the soil I now surrender, you are breaking new ground. You are breaking new ground. So make me your vessel, make me an offering, make me whatever you want me to be. I came here with nothing, but all you have given me. Jesus, bring new wine out of me. Oh Jesus, Jesus, bring new wine out of me. Jesus, Jesus, bring new wine out of me. 'Cause where there is new wine, there is new power, there is new freedom, and the kingdom is here. I lay down my old flames to carry your new fire. Oh, today, where there is new wine, is where there is new wine, there is new power, there is new freedom,
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you so much for being here with us for another day of Compass Daily. Happy Friday, everybody. We have something in store for you today. We want to close this week out. We've been looking at this whole entire core value of navigate and telling other people about Jesus. And so we just want to have a discussion about how we do that, why we do that, what does that really look like? And so we're just going to dive right into it. I want to start this thing off by asking a couple of questions, and there's this book called Radical Wisdom that is incredible. And one of the things that he talks about actually earlier this month is the problem with evangelism. And I'd love to get your take on this. One of the things he says is that unchurched, non-Christian people are not buying Christianity because they don't think, that they have any problems that our faith can solve. Mm-hmm. And so he lists a couple of those problems that people have or will have in life: death, fear, guilt, meaninglessness, belonging, acceptance. But what do you guys think about that whole thought process of hey, people are not looking to Christianity to solve any of their problems because they don't believe that it's going to solve any of their problems? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I actually am in a relationship with a person right now who's not following Christ and doesn't have, a faith background. And I actually look at her sometimes what do you need? I mean, she has everything that from the outside that looks has money, has great family, has great relationships, and what I've been just praying for is just to see her.
That's
so
good.
Because I can't, from just the outside looking in, you just see everything's perfect. And I've just been praying for an opportunity to hear a true story of where there is a gap, because all of us, without Christ, we're empty.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that yet. So I'm just being honest. It's sometimes not right in your face. Oh, I know what it is. I got the solution for you,
That's
and with
good.
her, it's truly a patience thing. And every week we see each other, and just I don't know when that's going to happen, but that's been something I've been praying about.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's that discovering story thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's good.
Truly. I think a lot of times too, my own pride will get in the way about someone who doesn't believe in God, where I think that I'm oh, you have everything you need. I have nothing worth offering you. You're fine. But then I've seen friends go through mental health crises more than anything. That's one of the things I can kind of point to and say, this could be so much better if you had Christ on your side too. Your depression could be more manageable if you didn't have to walk through it on your own. If you at night could be crying out to a God who loves you, and if you understood that truly deeply, those are the parts that I cling to of oh, that's why they need Christ. It is so easy to be well, you've got money, friends, fame, whatever. But in those quiet moments, it's right, there is going to be a point where our friends are feeling alone or feeling overwhelmed, and it's we have the solution to that. It's
Yeah.
here's this person you can give all of your burdens to. Allow that to happen. And man, it's hard though to
So that
actually do it.
You guys bring up a really good point. So I think it's really easy for us to sit there and say, oh, this person's life is falling apart, they need Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the outside looking in, you're you literally have everything. Your life is perfect. What could I offer? So how have you two, in the past circumstances, with friends, with family, with acquaintances like that, how have you broken through that fear barrier of, I don't have anything to offer you. Your life is perfect. You're walking through that right now. And I'm sure that, you being in ministry for as long as you have, you've had multiple conversations like that. So how have you broken through that barrier? Because I think that could help a ton of folks.
There's a really silly story that I had one time where I was just praying for an opportunity to share my faith with a worker at this tea shop. I love tea. I love fancy tea.
Are you British?
No,
I know. I was
no,
that's my
I'm
favorite.
not even. but I just, everything about it makes me so happy.
Okay.
And so I was going to this place and interacting with this individual quite often. This person, unlike the person I was talking about earlier, was just a train wreck. Like everything about her life was just a mess. And I knew like God had put us in a relationship together because we kind of had already had a bond. And but what I was holding back on was just like taking captive a moment. And so like kind of just being like, oh, okay, I don't want to push Jesus on her. And so one time she was just like throwing up all her story about boyfriend and whatever, all that drama. And she was just letting the tea steep. And like super cheesy. I just was like, the Holy Spirit kind of prompted me like, go, do something, say,
This is the moment.
this is the moment. Like you have 3 minutes because this is going to speak for 3 minutes.
That's so good.
So I
That's
just
awesome.
just said, I mean, God is kind of like tea sometimes. I know it's so dumb, but
I love
in a
it
moment
so
just
much.
was like, you just have to, like sometimes you have to wait on God and He is very present and He wants to bring flavor and joy to
That's
your
so
life.
good, though.
Okay,
It's so good,
super
though. It's
cheesy,
so cheesy, but it's good.
it was like I think that apathy
Yeah.
that gets to us so
Yeah.
often of like, oh, I don't want to
don't wanna be
offend
cheesy.
anybody,
Yeah.
and I was totally cheesy, but it was like just the inactivity. Like we're so
That's good.
lazy,
And we're afraid.
and it
It's
was
so
like that
good.
word was like, go, do it. You got 3 minutes. Let's go.
That's
So-
awesome. That's
Oh,
really
man.
good. What's it been like for you?
I think when we kind of talk about this, just fear of like rejection. I think society tells us like we're tired of Christians. We don't really want to
Oh, yeah.
hear about it anymore.
Right.
I used to live in Las Vegas, which is like known
wow.
for the angry preacher on the corner. So I saw that a
Yeah.
lot, and it's just like, well, I don't want to be that person, so I'm gonna be almost the polar opposite and like never tell you about my faith. Like I'm gonna retreat back to this complete opposite side of the spectrum, and like maybe one day you'll happen upon my faith. Like a cute surprise. but no, God really humbled me to be like, you have this secret to eternal life, essentially. Like that's what
Yeah.
this is all about. And like if it's true that you really do believe that Jesus died on a cross and was resurrected 3 days later, and that same spirit that did that is alive in me right now, then why are you keeping that to yourself? Like, what are you doing? This
That's
is
so
so big. This is so much bigger than my fear of, am I going to offend you? Am I going to be yet another Christian, like, asking you for prayer requests? But honestly, like, you do student ministry, I do a house group with some sophomore girls, and their courage to just ask their friends at high school, like, come to house group with me. Blows
That-
my
yeah.
mind because I'm like,
That
they
was
just
not
do
me
it.
back in the- yeah,
I know, like
it's
they don't
unreal.
even think about it. They're
Yeah.
just like, come with me, and I'm like, that was so easy. And I think about them all the time. Like if I could just have that kind of courage, to just
Yeah.
be like, if you say no, okay, like
What does it
well,
hurt?
no big deal. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're still friends. It's fine. And yeah, it's just like reminding ourselves that it's not an
So
offensive
good.
thing to
Yeah.
ask someone to how you can pray for them or to come to church with you or
Oh,
to tell them
yeah.
about tea and Jesus. Like what a great
Yeah.
metaphor for her
That's
specifically.
perfect. Yeah. Because
You
it,
know-
it resonated.
Completely.
That's perfect. Yeah.
We had like sometimes we get phone calls from teachers for one particular child of mine, and they're not the best phone calls. But the other day we got a message from one of our friends who's a teacher that isn't necessarily. I'm not sure really where her faith background is, and she said, "I just want you to know there's a lot of Bible banging going around these days, and." She has both of our kids in class, and
wow.
she said, I just want you to know that the way that they demonstrate kindness to the people around them,
That's so
and
good.
even some of their essays that they wrote about seeing people of the world and some of their experiences on mission trips and stuff,
Yeah.
was really speaking to her. She's like, this is a unique situation. I was so proud of
Yeah.
like,
That's so good.
honored, like, because I'm like, that's not me. That's just them living out their faith, even
Yeah.
in the classrooms too.
That's so good. And what a different phone call than you said you normally
Yeah.
get too. So that's huge.
Yeah, we got both. So
It's a balance. You know, there's got to be balance in life. I get that. No, that's good.
amazing.
So to kind of wrap up a little bit, what is one thing that maybe you're working on right now in this realm of telling other people about Jesus, and it could be, you know, in a relationship, you know, that you have that you're in the process of demonstrating kindness and discovering stories, and you're really just at that discerning next step stage? Or like, just what's one thing that you're working on, or that you could give, the folks joining us today to really just live out this faith and to navigate people to God, to tell other people about Jesus? What's one thing that you would give them today?
I think, what I was talking about was just ask Jesus to help you see people.
That's good.
To notice them, and to actually, we can only see eyes right now, to actually look people in the eyes and ask him to give you eyes to see what's in their heart. Because that will move you more than anything to action. Is to see somebody with compassion. Jesus looked upon the crowds with compassion. And when you have that, you cannot help but be expressive about your faith.
That's
and
good.
I think that is what can drive evangelism.
That's really good.
That was so good.
So follow that up.
I know. I'm like, just talk to people. No, yeah, I think I would echo seeing people for who they are, accepting them where they are. We throw that phrase around a lot, like, you're welcomed exactly as you are, but what does it look like to actually live that out? And just know that, like, a lot of people aren't ready for church. So it takes that outside evangelism, outside of the church. Like, I think our go-to answer is just, well, you invite them to church, and they either, the yes or the no is your indicator of if you've navigated someone to God. And it's like, it's a whole process outside the church doors of being in relationship with them, and like, hearing their story, and like figuring out what is it that you need. And like, we want the answer to just be a blanket of God, but sometimes it's like, okay, well, I need to take you to coffee to like allow you to have one-on-one relationship time, or I need to babysit your kids so you and your husband have a night off to like go do their thing. So just kind of living it outside the church doors, I think, has been a huge awakening moment for me as well.
That's awesome. That's good stuff.
Yeah. We're just so thankful for all of you guys being with us today on Compass Daily. And next week, we're going to continue talking about our core values here at Compass, and just how, again, we can continue our mission of navigating people to God. So thanks for being with us today.